Hey everybody, got another video here for you. Well, I've hit a snag. The tape masking off whichever fret I'm on down here. It stuck to the Teflon tape and pulled it away along with the clear coat. Pulled it away from the flat black. So looks like what I'm going to have to do is I'll finish polishing the frets, and then I'll have to take this off, and hopefully the gold won't come off with it. The black doesn't seem to come off with it, but the clear coat does seem to come off with it. So I'll have to remove this Teflon tape and try again, I guess. That also would explain what's going on, like over here and that spot over there, and there's one up here now too. So these are all areas where the stuff's starting to pull up and get air underneath it, because the paint layers are separating and the tape's coming away. So yeah, gonna have to deal with that. Okay, frets are all polished up, and now it's time to deal with this tape. So, little clear coat survived there and there, but not much of anywhere else. So, I guess clear coat's not a good idea. I guess tape it up again and see how it looks. Also, last time I forgot to clean it with naphtha, but here it was a matter of the masking tape was stronger than the bond between the clear coat and the flat black paint. So, just glad it didn't take the gold off. Well, it looks like you get better results with the tape if you don't worry about trying to get exactly to the seam between the fingerboard and the neck, and just trim it off somewhere below the top of the fingerboard. That way it's that way the seam itself is then coated in Teflon too. So yeah, all you feel is like Teflon along sides, and then you got your frets, and that's it. Okay, when I polish these, I after first few, I started taping off not only on either side of the fret, but I also taped off the side of the fingerboard at the fret so that I wouldn't get like residue right in a little gap there between the two pieces of tape. And then when I peeled it all off, and I was going one fret at a time. When I peeled it off, then I took some tissue and just wiped down the fret and got off any residue that was like between the fret and the fingerboard, that kind of stuff. And so this doesn't need to be cleaned at all. And I can go straight to the next step, which is going to be some oil, another dose of oil. I think this already got one dose. So I guess for the enamel clear coat versus the Teflon tape, what you want to do is you want to put the tape on first and then just mask off everything from the nut line down. And then, because that's also the nut lines where I cut the tape off here. And then just clear coat the headstock on the front and back sides. That'll make life easier. Yeah, this board was pretty dry. It's only been a minute or two, and it's already soaked up all the mineral oil. So I guess I'll hit it a couple more times or something. Keep at it until it looks like it's sated its thirst, so to speak. Well, that's 2 coats. Give that some time to soak in. Okay, second coat of oil's almost all soaked up into the fingerboard. I haven't wiped any of the stuff back off, so it's all being absorbed in still. In the meantime, I got ready for whatever's next, and that's looking like putting in the neck inserts. This is what the hardware for the neck bolts looks like. It's this kind of goldish color inserts. I couldn't find black. And these Allen screws, and they are I guess you call it a satin black, not a gloss black. In the past, I've tried painting both of these kind of pieces of hardware with gloss black enamel and have not had luck. Even if you do the best surface prep you can, the stuff still flakes off. So I'm not going to try to do that. It's going to have some kind of goldish kind of thing there, and it's going to have the satin black finish on the screws. So it looks like there's just a hint of cracking right here at the end. Right right there, that yellow coming down, and yeah, there you can see it. Now it's finally in focus. Yeah, so just a hint of cracking. Looks like, but it's in there solid. It looks like 10 millimeters up might be a little too close to the edge. Or the other thing is that these holes were pretty tight, so maybe a little wider on these holes might be a good idea. But it's all in there and together and straight and stuff, so that worked. Okay, for the headstock, it's going to get the lock nut, and then it's going to get the truss rod cover. And I've got an ebony one left over from the previous build. I'm going to give that, see if I can make something out of that or something. And then it's good to get the string anchors above that and around it. And then I've got little crystals in ebony and in amethyst. I'm going to use it to make a little like headstock logo kind of a thing. Something sort of like that, maybe. And put it like right up here. I haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to inlay them, because that would be a fair amount of work. But I might just glue them to the surface. I think 3 together glued on the surface might look okay, so wait and see. Okay, had to charge up the camera a little bit, but it's charged up now. And while it was charging, I put a 3rd coat of oil on the fingerboard, so that would make, I would think, 4 total that it took. And once that looked like it had soaked in, I checked it, and you could run your finger across it, and it would like make the wood weep oil, so to speak, or you could tell that it was like soaked with oil. So at that point, I knew that it had enough oil, and I buffed off all the excess with the tissue, and then I hit it up with a little bit of wax and buffed that out. And this is the final result, and everything's super smooth and very pretty looking, and it should be good to go now as far as that goes. Remoisturized, as they say. So, and it's not weeping or anything like that, so you can run your finger across it and it doesn't feel oily or anything. So the next step is to get all this junk on the front of the headstock, and I'm starting with the nut. And the first thing I need to do is clean up this nut shelf and make sure it's level, and get any little like paint or residue out of this intersection between the back of the fingerboard and the nut shelf, so that the nut will fit up in there nice and tight and clean. And then it's going to need the nut and probably a little shim behind it or under it, and then the truss rod cover, and then the anchors, and then the logo inlay, whatever thing. Well, I think that's going to do it for this video. So, until the next one, everybody, have a good one.